Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if today is your first time meeting me, my name is Bella and I am your favorite online fashion tutor. So guys, today we're making this lovely dress, this one shoulder asymmetric flare gown for an 8 years old. So here I have my pattern for an 8 years old child. In my last video I made a pattern drafting of this, so if you haven't watched it, please watch it. So the only difference with this pattern now is instead of 1 inch sewing allowance I added 2 inches because I'm not really sure about the measurement of that particular child. So to be on a safe side, I used 2 inches sewing allowance. Then for the neckline, I haven't really cut it out, both for the front and the back. This is just because it's an asymmetric, so we're going to modify this pattern. So let's get started, guys. So I will be starting with the front pattern. Okay, so since it's an asymmetric, the neckline I use 2.5. Okay, so both for the front and the back. So the next thing to do is to connect from the shoulder. Remember, this thing is like this, so I'm supposed to cut the neckline from this place. This is my sewing allowance for the neckline, but I'm going to start slanting my one shoulder from this place instead of cutting out the neckline. Okay, so you can decide where you want your neckline to be. Your shoulder, the one that will have the hand and the one that will be handless or shoulderless. So you can decide whether it should be this place or this place. Any place you want, that's where it should be. So I'm deciding it to be in this part. So all I need to do is to curve down to this my armhole area. If you have your curve, you can use it. If you don't have your curve, you can just use your free hand. Okay, so this is it. Another thing I want us to note is that we should choose where will be the front of our fabric. Let's assume we are cutting this on our fabric. We should write this place front or the right side of the fabric, so that when we are placing it on our fabric we will not make mistake. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out now. If it's okay for you, you cut it out. So guys, after cutting it out, this is what I have. Please keep this because I'm going to use it to cut out my strap. Okay, I'm going to be adding strap to this other side that doesn't have hand. So I like keeping this, so I'll write this for the front. Okay, now we have to do a little bit of tightening around this place, just so that it won't really gape. Okay, so that it should just be firm. So from any choice, from any point, doesn't really necessarily mean, but let me measure it. Let's say from our center front, we do 3 inches from our center front. 3 inches. Okay, most times I don't really measure, I just use my eye. Sorry, I just noticed this thing is not where you guys will see it. So what I did is from the center front I marked in 3 inches. Okay, as if I'm forming a dart, but it's not really a dart. So I just want to tighten the upper chest by half inch. Just tightening the upper chest. And I'll take it down to about 2 inches, or I can just use this chest line. I hope we are seeing what I'm doing. This is just, it's not really compulsory, but it's just necessary. So just this, okay, just this. It won't really, it will hold something sharp, but then to close it up, you just from this leg or from this leg, anyone, just pinch it and place it over like this. So you use your masking tape to hold it down. So let me get my masking tape. So after holding it down with my masking tape, I'll reshape because one is shorter than the other. So I'll just have to reshape it. And cut it out. Okay. So we're good to go. So the next one is the back. So for the back, the first thing to do is to close in your zipper allowance. This line indicates my zipper allowance, so I'm going to close it in. Okay, the reason why you have to close it in before anything is because you are not going to be having a zipper allowance after sewing, because you sew in your zipper, so it's better to close it in. And please note, this is our front fabric. We're assuming this is our fabric. Remember we labeled the front part. This is the front. So in doing this type of neckline, if you did the right hand side, if you cut off the right hand side for the front, just do the opposite of what you did in the front to the back, because at the end of the day, front side facing each other, it will be placed like this. So assuming you cut off the same side for the front, they will not correlate. Shall we get? So you just do the opposite, or you just place since you labeled here front, just place your front pattern right side facing each other, and you will see the side you're going to cut off. Okay, so this is the side we are cutting off. I hope you understand that. So the same thing we did for the front, we'll just do it for the back the same way. Remember to keep your the other part of the shoulder, so that we can use it to cut a strap later. Okay, so we're going to still do the same tightening we did for front. We're still going to do it for the back. So from my center front 3 inches, the same thing from my center back 3 inches. This 3 inches I marked is not standard. I told us we can put the darts, just the tightening anyway. I just needed to use this as a guide. Okay, so half inch, and I'll go down by 2 inches. And drum in my dart legs. This is just to tighten the chest area. Okay, So I'll close the dart now. So after closing it, it's not matching up again at the top, so we'll just reshape it just like we did for the front. Okay. This tightening I did for this upper part is not really compulsory, it's just to achieve firmness around that chest area. So this is what we have, guys. This is our pattern. This is what we have. Okay, so we'll go now to transfer this to our fabric. I'm going to transfer this to the fabric and to the lining for both the back. I'm going to transfer this to the fabric and the lining for both the back and the front. So this is how they will match up. Okay. This is how they will match up. You can see they are matching up perfectly fine. So let me go and transfer it to my fabric and I'll be back. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut my fabric. Okay, so these are the pattern we made. So I've gone ahead to cut the fabric. To cut the fabric, you know, I wrote this place as the front, so I just place the front of my fabric, the front of my main fabric, place it on it so that it can rhyme with the lining when I want to turn it. I'm using doll face for the lining, doll face bridal satin. So this is the down part, the flare. For your full length, you just remove these 12 inches we used here. Please use your own measurement. So whatever you get, use it to cut a 720-degree flare. If you don't know how to cut a 720-degree flare, click the link in the description box below. I have a video on how to cut 720-degree flare, all types of flare. Okay, so this is 720-degree flare for the main fabric. For the lining, I just cut SS 360-degree flare. So all these types of flares in the video, click the link below to save us some time. So I'll go ahead now to join these two flares together, because 720-degree flare is two flare, it's double flare. So I'll join them together, then use my crinoline to hem the down part. Then I'll go ahead to join the shoulder of my main fabric separately and shoulder of my front fabric separately, because the flare at the neck area, we are meant to join the shoulders first so that we can be able to get the measurement to cut out the flare for the neck part. Okay, so I'll go now, join the two shoulders separately, lining separately, fabric separately, then hem the bottom of this. If you don't know how to hem your if you don't know how to use this to hem your fabric, let me know in the comment section below so that I can make a video on it. Okay, this is crinoline or horsehair braid, so I'll use it to hem the bottom of main fabric. I will be back. So another thing I forgot to mention is that while cutting your fabric, you should put sewing allowance at this neckline only. Remember, there is sewing allowance here, there is sewing allowance at the hem, the half length, there is sewing allowance at the shoulder. Just this part, just put half inches sewing allowance, as you can see it. Okay, so guys, this is what we have after I joined the two shoulder, front and back. I joined the sides with my sewing allowance. Okay, this is the other side, and I joined my zipper. I attached zipper at the back. So for the flare at the upper parts, we are starting from here at the back before the zip.
I don't want the flare to reach the zip area. Okay, so I'll start somewhere here before the zipper, then I'll take it around my measurements to the front, to this armhole side. That's how the flare is going to be. Then there is something I want to show us. So this is the inside. I had to reinforce this. I have to stabilize it with air stay, okay, with an interfacing. I use air stay because it was super stretchy, and if it's this stretchy, it won't really be firm at the neckline. And after doing the whole body with just one piece of air stay, I had to cut a strap to reinforce the neckline and the zipper area. If you can see it, there is another strap at the zipper area so that my zip won't be like this after sewing. No, after that stuff, after sewing with stretchy fabric, the zip won't lay flat. It will just be squeezing up. I hate it. So this will help to stabilize it. Then at the neckline just to get a firm neckline, because it has to be firm. That's the beauty. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's what I did here. So right now I'll just take my measurement before the anywhere before the zipper for this side, then take it round down to this other armhole side. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll take the measurement now. Then this is the down part. I used crinoline to hem it, as you can see. Then I still reinforce the zipper side, the two zipper side, so that the upper part and the lower part, the zipper will lay flat. That's the only thing I did. Then for my lining, I hemmed it. Then I gathered some hard nets on it to push up the cloth to form a ball, to form a very nice ball push-up dress. So if this is just I was splitting as I was sewing. I was just splitting it as I sew along. Okay, there is no big deal. Just cut straps of hard nets. Just these 3 steps. This is one, this is another one, this is another one. You do it in such a way that your lining will be longer than the hard net, so that the hard net will not be coming outside. Okay, so that's what I have for the lining. So now let me go over to measuring the neckline, and I'll cut out my flare. So to measure the neckline, I'll start from this place. Please, for this stay, assuming I'm using just satin or any other strong fabric, I won't need this stay, but you know this is velvet and it's very, very stretchy, so that is why I used this. Okay, so for the neckline, I'll just measure round. That is what I'll use as my circumference to cut the upper flare. So I'm stopping before the zipper. I have 13, so my circumference now will be 13. That is what I'll use to cut my flare. Okay, so I'll go now to cut my flare and turn it. I'm going to turn the flare with lining and crinoline. I'll cut a 360-degree flare 2-step, and I'll turn with lining and crinoline. So if you don't know how to turn with crinoline, just let me know and I will make a video on that. Okay, so drop your comments in the comment section below. Guys, these are my flare for the neck area. This is 360-degree flare. This is 5 inches and this is 6 inches. Okay, so I'll go now to turn them with crinoline, the both of them. I'll have to open one end so that it can be straight to go around. Okay, so let me go and turn them down. So guys, this is what we have so far. I have gone ahead to turn my my flare with
same fabric and crinoline inside. I just pinned it. You can see my pins. I just pinned it around the neckline. Okay, see my shoulder joining here, and this is my zipper. I told us I will stop few inches before the zipper, so I just pinned it. And this place I had to lose the side of that the place that doesn't have sleeve. Okay, I loosed it so that this side can enter into the side seam. Then this one stops here. I had to sew it in to conceal the rough edges. I turned it inside. Okay, but this place I left it like that so that it will enter the side seam like this. This is the side seam, so by the time I close it up, the side seam, it will be inside, and I'll trim it off. This is it. This is the back, this is the front. By the time I sew the front and the back together like this, you see my side seam line that I joined before, so I loosed it so that this one can enter through the side seam. Okay, so that's that. Now for the before we sew this down, we have to put our strap, the strap that is going to be on the shoulder. So let me bring what we cut out from our pattern. Remember I asked us to keep it. So guys, this is it. This is for the back. Sorry. So this is for the back, and this is for the front. So I'll try to place it now to see. Okay, so this is what we have. This is the zipper area. So this is how our bodice should have been, assuming we didn't cut it out. This paper is in form of like a yoke. So from this yoke now we'll determine how many inches our strap is meant to be. Okay, so from here now, this is like 5.5 inches. Okay, this is like 5.5 inches. Remember, this is our shoulder line, this is the armhole, this is our shoulder line. This is about 5.5 inches. So with the front one to let's just say the same 5.5 inches. Okay, let's just call, because this one is a little bit 5.25, but let's just make it 5.5 inches together, including the shoulder allowance, please, including the shoulder allowance, because we're going to cut it on fold, a long strap. So since there are two 5.5 inches, that means we're going to be cutting out 11 inches long strap. Then you can determine the width. So I'll use width of 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to be using the width of 1 inch, just 1 inch. Then another thing you need this thing is where to place your strap. Okay, so as you can see now, you place this around from the zipper part, because you already sewn in your zipper, so you fold your zipper allowance like this and shift it. Okay, remember our 2 inches sewing allowance is around here, so that's where the end of the paper is. So place it like this. Okay, so this is it, somewhere around here. So you can now determine where your strap is going to fall in, assuming this is your shoulder. Okay, so I'm using these scissors to hold down my pattern with the fabric. So now remember, when you're measuring, you exclude your 2 inches sewing allowance or your 1 inch sewing allowance, any amount you added. Okay, the number of sewing allowance you added, just exclude it before you take your measurement. So this end of this paper is like my 2 inches sewing allowance, so I should start considering anything from this place.
see the shoulder. So I should start considering anything from this place. Okay, so considering from this shoulder, I'll just go in by 1 inch. Let me bring my pencil. So considering from the shoulder, I went in by 1 inch, and this is where my strap is going to fall here. So I'm going to still mark it 1 inch. 1 inch strap. Okay, so if you like, you can use this to cut your strap off. Just join the front and the back together like this, and you measure and cut. Okay, you can gum them together like this because they're supposed to be together. So you just measure 1 inch here and cut out your strap. Okay, but I'll just go now to cut out. Since it's going to be a 1 inch strap, I'm going to be adding sewing allowance of ½ inch. So what I'll have is 1.5 inches on fold, please, 1.5 inches on fold. So from here now, from our sewing allowance, we are going to measure to the beginning of this strap, so that we can know when fixing our strap. Or you just notch it. You can just notch it, or you just measure. So I'm going to measure and I'm going to notch. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to measure and I will still notch. Okay, so we have this. So we have 4.5. So when we exclude our 2 inches sewing allowance, we'll have 2.5. So from our sewing allowance, we have 2.5, but from the beginning of our fabric, you'll have 4.5. Remember, I added 2 inches sewing allowance, so I hope that is clear. Okay, this will fix it 2 inches from 2.5 inches from our sewing allowance. Okay, guys, this is my strap, 11 inches by 3 inches, so that when I fold over and sew ½ inch, I'll still have my 1 inch remaining. So guys, as you can see, my fabric is stretchy. Please, if your fabric is not stretchy, add sewing allowance to whatever measurement you got here. Please add your sewing allowance, because you're going to join it with the other side of the bodice. So add sewing allowance. Okay, so because mine is stretchy, I wouldn't want it to be loose on the kid's shoulder. I will have to. I didn't add sewing allowance. There was no need to add sewing allowance. So I'll go now to turn this. I'll just face it right side facing each other, sew on ½ inch and turn it out, then iron, so that I'll go ahead to fix it with this. So I'm going to fix this here. Remember, our measurement was 2.5 inches. You can use 2.5, 2 inches. From this is the mark of my sewing allowance. This is my 2 inches sewing allowance. So from here, I'll just measure 2 inches or 2.5 and fix this, because this is how it's going to be. It will be inside. Okay, so you turn it like this. After sewing this, you fix it like this. Okay, with your lining. Okay, so you use your lining. After fixing it for front and back, you use your lining to sew the shoulders round. So I'll do that and get back to us. So guys, I'm done turning the neckline with lining, and this is what we have. Actually, this is the shoulder. So you push this inside. This is how it's supposed to be, like this. But you can see that here the neckline is not relaxing because of all the thick stuff that is inside. So you need to do a lot of steam press, your iron, your hemming gum, and your the extra water. So you use hemming gum, a lot of it, to press this neckline down so that it will be clean.
okay, so that it will look clean and neat. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to press. I know some people will be like, why am I not showing the sewing video? I have a lot of videos for both dress. It's the same thing. The difference is the neckline. So it's the same thing. You click the description box below and I'll list some of the videos I've done. So it's the same finishing, the same way. The only difference is the asymmetric neckline. So every other thing is the same, lining to lining, fabric to fabric. Their only connection is the neckline and the zipper area, and you connect this to the down part of the lining, connect this to the down part of the main fabric. Okay, so I'll go ahead now to iron this out. I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, this is day 2 of sewing this dress. Even though I didn't do it the whole day yesterday, but it still took some time. Okay, it's time consuming, so showing all the whole process will make this video unnecessarily too long, which can be avoided. Okay, so I don't want to bore us. Okay, so I'll go now to iron this neckline out, then finish my zipper. Iron the neckline, finish my zipper, add the down part of my main fabric and add the down part of my lining and close up my zip. So the remaining thing now will be the sleeve. I'll cut my sleeve and add, and I will show us what we have made at the end of the video. If you have any question, please drop your question in the comment section below. I answer all questions, okay? And remember, we have a basic ball dress class. We have a basic ball dress class. The flyer is on your screen, so if you want to register, you will still see a link below to chat me directly on WhatsApp. Okay, so let's finish up our dress. Hi guys, so we're done with our dress. So I want to see us what the back looks like. So you can see the side seams, everything is inside. Okay, I want to show us how the back looks like. So this is my armhole. I had to pipe it with satin. So because this is a sequence, and you know weaving a sequence can be heartbreaking because you keep on breaking needles and not get the work done. So the easiest way to save yourself the stress is to pipe it with already made bias, or you make your own with satin like this, or any fabric of your choice. So this is it, and this is the zipper area. Okay, everything is turned inside. So this is how the inside of the dress looks like. Then this line, if you don't want this gathers line of hard net to show, if you don't want it to show, then you can do your hard net in form of a petticoat. I have a video on how to make a petticoat. The link will be in the description box below. So if you don't want these lines to show, but it's not that bad when everything is as neat as this. It's not that bad. Tell me what you think. So this is the back. I will wear the front on the mannequin now for us to see. So this is it. This is the back. So I will put on the front on the mannequin. So guys, this is what we have. This is what we've made. Oh my god, this is so gorgeous. Like, this is so pretty. Super pretty. So I'll go closer now to explain some things. So guys, this is for an 8 years old, and my mannequin is a little bit shorter than the kid. So this dress is supposed to be above the knee, but you can see it's like a 3/4 of my mannequin. Okay, then I'll go over to the back now. So at the back here now, you can see I tacked down this place. You remember I didn't sew it, I just tacked it down with my needle and thread somewhere so that it won't just be up. Okay, so make sure you press your dress very well. You press the flare very well to lay flat for you. Okay, so let me talk about the flare. Now this flare is a 720 degree flare.
and you can see at the waist area, there are no too much pleats. I just did excess so that I can just split some for additional volume. But you can see the hem is so full, forming as if it's a cone. You can mistake this for a cone dress. You can see it's so wavy and it's so full. So assuming I made this with 360-degree flare, it won't be as full as this at the hem. It will just be there, just full, but not as full as this at the hem. You can see how full the hem is, and the waist is still small without any pleating. It's not a gathers that will start. You have a lot of pleating here before you can achieve this full. This is a 720-degree flare. If you don't know how to cut it, click the link below. The flare, that video is well detailed. Okay, so if you want more volume, you keep adding more flare. We have 360-degree flare, 720-degree flare, 080-degree flare, and we have a 1440-degree flare. So if you're wondering how many yards this dress costs, this is 4 yards. It's about 4 yards, and it wasn't enough because I would have loved my peplum or this shoulder flare to be a little bit longer than this. Okay, so assuming I used 5 yards, I would have made these flares a little bit longer. So this one I made it with 6, and this one I made it with 5 inches. So assuming my flare is assuming my fabric is enough, I would have used like 8 inches for this and 6 inches for this. Okay, so in case you're wondering how many yards this dress consumed, this is 4 yards of velvet sequence. And yeah, I've showed us the back, so this is what the front looks like I've showed us the inside of the dress, so this is what the outside looks like. I hope you love this dress. Okay, so if this video was helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up, comment, share the video, leave your comments in the comment section below. If there's anything you don't understand, let me know, guys. Please let me know, leave a comment, and I'll see you in my next video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Bye.